ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. All right. So we covered up to 19, which is basically Nachiketa has entered Mrityulok, not Mrityulok, he has actually Yamalok, and he is there for 3 days. Yama is not available. When he comes back, he gives him 3 boons. So, first 2 boons we covered already. The first boon was that when he goes back, his father recognizes him and greets him with love, the same way that before he had left. And his father's wishes be fulfilled. So basically, he took care of his father. The Pitra Rin he took care of. Then he took care of the, I shouldn't say it's a Matra Rin, but it is also Loka Rin, which is he asked for what is the ritual to do to get to heaven, because a lot of people have this desire but don't have the means to get the priests and everybody to do it for them. So so he worked on this Nachiketa fire, uh, and that's the second boon that he got. And out of love for Nachiketa, Yam gave this name of this particular ritual as Nachiketa Agni. So far we have done. Now he says, okay, here is my third boon. So, ye yam prete vichikitsa manushye asti eke nayam astiti chaike etad vidyam anushishta tvaya aham varanameva varah tritiyah. Now, literal meaning is that people have a doubt that the existence continues. Is there a existence after a person is dead? you know we say that he exists, that existence is there. And some say that it stops. There is nothing after the death of a human being or any mortal. Etad vidyam anushishta tvaya aham. So I want to learn from you, because you are the one who take people across. So you are the one who is the best teacher to give this guidance to us. So please tell me that. This is my third boon. So this is a very interesting boon. And now you will see that this boon he repeats 3 times at the end of this chapter, and then again he repeats, and every time it becomes much more uh, crystallized or become much more clearer. So right now he says, some say people, there is existence after death, and some say there is no existence. So this can be a little confusing, but we will go with that. So first thing is we have to see that the maturity of the student. Nachiketa is a very mature student. He knows what to ask. You can't go to somebody who has something to offer and you ask something totally different. And now this is the highest knowledge from the best teacher available. So he says, why should I waste my time on anything other than that? So he says, okay, I want to know that, because even in today's date, if you think about it, we think of our life this life as the only existence, एक बारी गए तो गए, that's, we may believe in life after or anything, but we don't have any praman of it, right? We don't have any proof that there is life or there is no life. So he's he's asking the person who knows everything about it, because it's not a simple yes or no answer. You know, we can say yes, there is, but it is a belief system. Yeah, okay, I believe that there is life, or I can say no, and some other will believe that there is nothing after that. So he's not looking for a belief. He's looking for a tangible proof from a teacher who knows it all, So that is because what he asked is the realm of beyond. What is beyond death? What is beyond life, or whatever is experiences here? So what is that? That he wants to understand the life itself, the secret of life. So, because it's not a mental or intellectual question, because it was an intellectual question, it would be very easy, You could make up something, but he is not, because Shastra also gives us a lot of information, but he is not interested in that. He wants to know from a person who is actually experienced in that, who is, you know, um, because in the pramanas we have talked about, earlier. So there is pratyaksha, anumana, upamana, anupalabdhi, arthapatti, and shabda. So shabda says something, but then also it is a belief that, okay, you know what, somebody has written it, and so I will believe that. That's because I have faith in that scripture. That's one way to accept it. But then there are other scriptures like Charvak, or, the materialistic way of uh, people who have written, about it also, even the communist philosophy. There's nothing more than this life itself. So everything ends here. So body's ends is life's end. So it just comes together, creates a, even the science doesn't believe in anything other than that, right? Uh, so when we declare somebody dead, that means end of life. And that's what we say, end of life. And so he is looking to find that answer from somebody who has experienced it. It's not a bookish knowledge. It is actually from a person who is reveling in that, Yamraj. So, because he has seen it, everything. So now Yamraj says, okay, you know what? This is a difficult question. And I don't think you are ready for it. Because this is Yamraj's way of testing it. So he says, Devai atra api vichikitsam pura. That means before, devatas also don't understand it. You are a little kid, even the great, because the devatas has much finer intellect, much finer mind, so even they don't have a total grasp on what it is, so nahi suvigneya anu esha dharma. And it is not easy to understand the principles or the nature of that. Dharma here means nature or the principle, So, so what you are asking is a very complicated question. So let's not go there. And Anyavaram Nachiketa Varanishya. You ask for something else, Don't ask me this difficult question. I will give you whatever you want, Ma uparotsi ma ati sraja enam. Please don't press me for this, Don't push me that, okay, I want this. And so I'll give you, basically, according to this verse, what Yama wants to know is the seriousness of the student. Is he really serious about it? Because if I give him choices and he takes something else, then that means he's just asking me. He's not, like, we go to study groups not because I am curious about Atma. I am going there because that's their next text that they are doing, So my seriousness is dependent on, uh, but if I really am serious, then I won't think of anything other than that, you know. उसका एक डायलॉग है ना गाइड मूवी का, कहता है द थिंग्स दैट डिडंट मैटर टू मी बिफोर, कहता है नाउ दे आर मोर इम्पोर्टेंट देन लाइफ एंड डेथ। सी जो चीज मुझे कल तक उसका कोई मतलब ही नहीं था मेरी लाइफ में, आज वो मेरे लिए जीने और मरने से ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो गई है। व्हेन ही स्टार्ट्स टू थिंक अबाउट कि व्हाट इट इज, व्हाई एम आई डूइंग दिस, सो सडनली दैट the that jignasa just takes over, you know that is what uh, he wants to see, the level of jignasa. So, and it doesn't mean that it is something that has to be given very to only select few. Actually, everybody has a birthright because that's who we are. It's not like we are asking of something other than us. We are asking our own nature. So why it should not be available? But the problem is that the usefulness of that information is only good if we are sincere about it, if we really want to understand, and then drop everything else. Are we ready to drop everything else? That's a main question. Is the is our mind ready for it? यही चाहिए, इसके अलावा मुझे और कुछ नहीं चाहिए, so I'm ready to give up everything else. That uh, it's a very interesting thing. जैसे you have to also see questions, बहुत लोग पूछते हैं, बच्चे बच्चे भी पूछते हैं क्वेश्चन, कि भगवान क्या है, भगवान कौन है, दीज काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन, और थिंग्स लाइक जैसे किसी की शादी हो रही है, somebody is getting married, तो और more than that, if somebody is pregnant, the little kid will ask, so this person is pregnant, how did she get pregnant? So the mother will say, भगवान ने इसके पेट में डाला बेबी को. That's the nature of answer somebody will give depending on the maturity of the person. But if he is a teenager or beyond, then he understands the biology of the whole thing. So point is, based on the maturity, the answer is given. So here Yamaraj is actually testing the maturity of this kid. He's a kid, 9-year old, so that's where he is. And and the other is, he's saying that why you want to waste this var that I have given you, this boon that I have given you on his, this question. This you can go study in some other Upanishad, but this person is very steadfast on that. Point here is that the teacher tests very, they take a lot of effort in finding out the uh, how sincere the student is. Does he have the right qualifications? We did the Anubandha Chatushtaya. In that, one portion is called Sadhan Chatushtaya, which means the qualification of a fit student. So that's what is being tested here. Is this student right? So then Nachiketa continues, when he says, even the Devtas don't understand, how can you understand? So he says, no, Daive atra api vichikitsam kila. Kila means indeed, what you are saying is correct, that they don't understand because they don't have you as a teacher, you know. You are the teacher. So I need somebody like you. Tvam cha mrityo yatra suvegna mathya. You know, who is the most competent teacher that is available? You know, so you are the most competent, so I have to, you know, since you are there and you have given me this opportunity, I wouldn't have come and asked you this question if, you know, if you had not given me this boon. But since you have given it to me, I don't want to waste it on anything other than that. So the devatas don't understand because they don't have you as the teacher. But since you are there, vakta chasya tvadragnyo na labhyo. Who can be better teacher than you know? So I can't let this opportunity go by just like that. So nanyo varas tulya etasya kinchit, you know, there is nothing equivalent to that question. I have in my mind weighed all the different options what I could ask for. So this is the best word that I can ask. This is the best boon. So can't find you. There is no better teacher than you, and I can't ask for a better boon. So Yam says, okay, let me check a little more on this, you know. So he says, okay, शतायुषः पुत्र पौत्रान वृष्य, कहता है कि ask for sons and grandsons and or grandkids and, you know, shatayusha, with long lives, you know. So ask me all these things. Bahuna pashuna hasti hiranya ashwan. Ask me for bahun pashuna, but a lot of animals. Animals means cows and goats or whatever else. That was the property in those times, you know. So ask me for that, for hasti, for elephants, for hiranyam, the gold, and for horses. So ask all these things. You know, somebody was telling me one time uh, that horses is not an Indian thing that came from Arabs. I said, is that true? I said, from our Vedas, there is something called Ashwamedh Yagya that's going on for like thousands and thousands of years. So they would go to Arabia and get the horses from there and just then do a Ashwamedh Yagya. I said, no, no. It has been very local to India. So anyway, here also Ashwa is given. So, and this must be, it's a Vedic part of the Veda. So it must be at least, if nothing more, if nothing less, at least 3,000 years old, you know. And Arabians have just started, you know, showing some wealth. So, so anyways, Bahun Pashan. So ask me for these things, you know, for wealth. And Bhume Mahat Ayatanam Varishya. Ask me for big land, you know, become a landlord, you know, just uh, something, not just a ordinary land, a very fertile land. So I'll give you whatever you ask for, you know. Swayam cha jiva sharado yavat ichhasi. And live as long as you want. Means, and Sharado means seasons. So for as many seasons as you want to live, you live, you know. I'll grant you all that. Because what a normal person wants, you know, they want a healthy, long life. They want comfortable living, which means they have enough material and kids and grandkids and all these things. So wealth of all kinds, you know, animals, land, gold, all that. So, and then power over others, you know, that's another thing. So he says, I'll give you all that, you know. So why are you worried about it? I'll give you that. So he says, uh, another temptation. Says, Etat tulyam yadi manyase varam. Ask me equivalent of that or more. Just say, give me all these things. I'll give it to you. It's not like I'll give you one or the other. I'll give you a collection also. Vranishva vitam chira jivikam cha, and choose a wealth or long life or both, you know, a long life and lot of wealth. Mahabhumau nachiketa tvam edhi, and take the largest kingdom and be the king. So be the king of a largest kingdom, and kamanam tvam kama bhajam karomi, and in all of the desires that you have, I'm going to grant you all of that. So so it's like temptation to the extreme. What, as they say in films, हर आदमी की एक कीमत होती है. Every person has a price. At what level will he is ready to give in. So that's what is being tested for this guy. I read, read one short story in WhatsApp somewhere. So it said this young brahmachari, uh, his guru asked him, go find the answer. Paap ka baap kaun? Who is the father of sin? So he goes, try to find answer, goes everywhere. So one day he was very tired, sitting outside a nice house. So it belonged to a prostitute. So he says, okay, let me get some water here. So he says, okay, I'll give you water. Why are you look so distressed? He says, my guru asked me this question, ki paap ka baap kaun? So he says, I can't find that answer. So he says, okay, don't worry about it, but have a glass of water at least. So he says, who are you? He says, I'm a prostitute. So he says, oh, I can't have anything. He says, okay, and he tries to go away. He says, why are you going away? I am not touching you or anything. You are a brahmachari, your brahmachari state stays. But if you stay, I'll give you 5 gold coins. So he thinks about it. And I want to serve you so that, it'll do me good if I serve a brahmachari. So he says, okay, 5 gold coins. He says, there is nothing wrong with that. So he stays, okay, 5 gold coins. And then she brings the food and says, let me feed you the food. If you let me feed you the food, then I'll give you 10 gold coins. He says, okay, yeah. What harm can it do? So then she says, Paap ka baap is lobh. The greed is the father of the sin. So you were running away, but the moment you heard that there are 5 gold coins you will get, you compromised. So anyways, the point is he is also being tempted. He's being given all these little temptations. If you do this, then I can, I'll give you this or that or whatever else. So, so he has added um, a list of things. So then he says, actually, long time back, when I was listening to Swami Chinmayanand's uh, lectures on Kathopnishad, long time back, that's when I remember this. कहता है ये कामा दुर्लभा मृत्यु लोके Sarvan kaman chandatah parthayasva. So he's saying that whatever desires are difficult to get in the Mrityu lok, you ask me that, so now he is trying to, up his कहता है, bargaining, okay, let me give you a little more, what you can't even imagine that kind of things. Sarvan, uh, so, and all these things will be of your choice, whatever you want. कहता है, now he saw that this guy was looking outside. He was not even looking at Yamaraj at that time. He saw there were a lot of apsaras playing in the field, and they had wonderful chariots, and they were the most beautiful ones. So he says, Ima Rama. He thought maybe this guy will be tempted by the women. Says Ima Rama Saratha Saturyaha Na hi drasha lambaniya manushye. कहता है these apsaras, these beautiful damsels, uh, with their chariots. It's not like they will come and you will have to buy things for them. No, no, they'll come with their own stuff. And sometimes people may feel, oh, if I marry somebody like that or somebody is with me, then I have to serve her all the time because she'll have, her own demands. So he says, no, 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 no. They will come and serve you, you know. So these are not that you have to serve them. They will take care of you. So abhir abhir mrit pratabhi paricharyasva means they will serve you. So now he's given first the gold and the animals and land and power and kingdom and all that, then the women. So कहता है नचिकेतो मरण मानु प्राक्षी. So कहता है I'll give you all of this, but don't ask me for this boon. So it's like, what more do you want? I am giving you everything. Means people die for it. If you ask these terrorists when they die, what will you get? 72 hoors. So I'm giving you all that for nothing. You don't even have to die for it. You take them back with you. So he says, so what more do you want? But don't pressurize me on this question. So now Nachiketa, smart one, he says, okay, Shobhava Mrityasya Yadant Kaitat. So he says, okay, let me explain this philosophy back to you, sir. You have taught me all these things, but let me teach you something else. He says, everything in this Mrityu Loka is ephemeral. Ephemeral means that is something that is constantly dying. You know, this is the nature of it. The senses, the pranas, all these have limitations. So, oh Yamaraj, oh Mr. Death, Sarve Indriyanam Jarayanti Tejaha. That means their Teja is constantly depleted. Is from Nirupama ji's Bhaj Govinda. Vayasi gate kaha kam vikara, where is calm when you are old? You don't have the energy, you don't have the, you know, anything left. Sarve indriyanam jarayanti teja. That means that indriyas get depleted. They are not as strong as you want, and they are not available to us all the time. So, so to enjoy into or indulge into any sensual activity, you need, support of your senses and your pranas. So pranas and indriyas have a limitation, so So api sarvam jivitam alpam eva. Even the longest life is kshanabhangur, you know. Even the person who lives 100 years old is actually a fraction in the total span of things. So he knew all that, you know. It's not like he was a totally unaware kid. He knew all that. He wanted to know the real truth. He wanted to understand what is life itself, you know. So he says, I understand all that, because no matter whatever I am enjoying, the objects of my enjoyment have limitations, and the senses have limitation, you know, because you cannot keep on enjoying something, you know. There is a time with a bus enough. So that is the so जैसे, you know, the story of Yayati. Do you remember from Bhagavatam? So Yayati was a great king, and so he married, uh, what was his name? The daughter of Shukracharya. उसका नाम था देवयानी. So there's a long story, but I'll give you the gist of it. So he married Devyani, but Devyani had a friend. Her name was Sharmishta. So Sharmishta was the daughter of the Daitya king of that time. I think it was Virochana. So Virochana's daughter was Sharmishta. But at one time, what had happened was that they had both gone for a swim in a river. And when they came back, accidentally, Devyani wore Sharmishta's dress. And Sharmishta said, you know, I am king's daughter. How dare you wear my dress? So, anyways, that was one. And she was like very angry about it. And she wanted to, you know, kind of take a revenge on that. So, when she was getting married, told her father asked, what can I get you, dear? He says, I want to take Sharmishta as my maid. So, okay, you know, says, that's not a good thing. You know, you are inviting trouble, but I'll ask the king. So he told the king, and king didn't want to displease the guru. So he says, okay. So Sharmishta went as the maid. So when it happened, so they lived happily for a few years, and they had a couple of children also. And then, and Sharmishta was very pretty, very beautiful. And so one day, Yayati met Sharmishta, and Sharmishta was, you know, she knew that this guy, she played on me, so I am going to take a revenge. So she seduced Yayati. So one day, she found out that my maid is having an affair with my husband. So she went and told the father, that, you know, that I am in trouble. You know, you have to punish this guy. So he says, okay, you know, he says, you are having affair because of your senses. So from today onwards, you are 100 years old. You know, you are you are a, your all your senses are depleted. So Yayati said, oh, this is not good, you know. And then he begged for forgiveness and all that. He says, okay, if somebody is ready to exchange, you know, their age for yours, then one exchange is possible, and that has to be one of your sons. So, so finally he was able to convince. He had four sons, or more than that, maybe. Everybody refused except for the youngest one, uh, a very famous one, but I forgot. So he says, and he was only 22 year, something like that. So he exchanged the age with his own son. And then he realized, what am I doing? I am running after something that is anyway going to die. And I have taken it from my own son who willingly gave it to me. So then Yayati became a very, he became a rishi actually after all that, going through this whole cycle. The realization came to him that what I did was totally wrong. And he wrote a beautiful, it's in Bhagavatam actually, uh, his own stuti for Bhagwan, that how we crave for things and then make so many stupid mistakes because of that, and we get into this trap, and it is so hard to get out of it. Only but because of your blessings we can get out of it. So anyway, I didn't want to spend too much time on Yayati, but point is that we are always trapped in it, you know whether we do it ourselves or we get tempted by seeing things around us. So, so Nachiketa then continues. He says, "Na vittena tarpaniyo manushya." कहता है, nobody is satisfied with my wealth. Whoever has less wants a little more. Who has nothing wants a little. So everybody is, this is not something that can satisfy a person about wealth. Or lapsya mahe vittam adraksham chetaka. So, and you cannot equate wealth with happiness. See, this clarity was there. So that vairagya was there in this little boy. Uh, there is no guarantee for happiness. Everything is available, till a man is, it is only available till somebody is alive. Once he is gone, then all the wealth is right here. You can't take it with you. So it is as temporary as it gets. So why waste time on something that is not going with you? So I want to know the answer to my question. Again, it's like I don't want to waste any more time, sir. You are trying to kind of divert my thinking. So here is the question raised by Nachiketa. Ajiryatam amritanam upetya. What will or who understood the nature? Um this is actually a little complicated verse, but what it means is, I'll give you the gist of it, that everything is short lived, right? On this Mrityu Loka, everything is. So, why would anybody waste time on that? Why not go with the कहता है जीरियन नृत्य का क्वध स्थ prajanan. That means on this earth or down below, because he is in the Mrityu Lok, or not Mrityu Lok, in the abode of Yamaraj. He says, the life of the mortals is well known. We know that it's very short, and they come, they go, they grow, they seek things, and then they struggle and they die. So when you have observed all that, then does it make any sense for you? So he was only 9 years old, remember, but he had the maturity of a very wise person. So he says, why struggle for something that is not going to last anyways? So even if you give me something, it has only very short life. So why would I take that? So, and it is, you cannot also equate the wealth or sensuous pleasures with happiness. So I am not interested in that. So, and it is not a pessimistic cry, actually, Swami Chinmayanand wrote a nice passage on that. But basically, what he was saying is, it is also the clarity of wisdom of this young boy that is shown through this particular verse, that it's not like painting a very dark or picture about the mortal life, but he's also saying that there has to be something bigger, something more important. So it is not like just dropping the worldly joys. It is seeking something much higher. That's what he's saying. And once you reach a master who you think can give you that knowledge, why I would waste any time in anything other than that? So he says, so basically the I want to conclude this now. The 29th verse, it says, so Nachiketa wants to understand the mystery of this life. What is it that, uh, what is that great passing beyond? So if I take this last verse of it, uh, Yasmin idam vichikit santi mrityo यत् सांपराय महति ब्रूहि नस्तत यो योयम वरो गूढ़ मनु प्रविष्टो नान्यम तस्मात् नचिकेता वृणीते. That this Nachiketa is only asking for that boon alone. I don't want to ask for anything else. You have given me a lot of different options, but I choose that. I want to understand what happens, what is the nature of life beyond death. What is the secret of this life. So Nachiketa want to choose nothing else. So this is where it ends. And second Valli starts with Bhagwan's explanation about, actually Bhagwan doesn't answer the question right away. Yamaraj says, let me explain that there are two paths, Shreyas and Preyas. So he starts with that. But anyways, so we will stop uh, at this time, and we'll do Purnamada and then Trayambakam. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanam Urvarukameva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshiyamamritahat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanam Urvarukameva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshiyamamritahat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanam Urvarukameva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshiyamamritahat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All right. So, Nirupama ji asked me about the meaning of this. So basically, Mrityunjaya mantra is about how to move beyond death, actually. So, or we can say how to move beyond fear of death. That's the this mantra about. So it starts with Trayambakam. Trayambakam means uh, three-eyed one, which is, Bhagwan Shiv. So, O Trayambakam Yajamahe. So basically the Om is for the Om, which is a symbol of Bhagavan. Uh, and this Trambakam, which means the three-eyed one, the Lord Shiva, is we are requesting Lord Shiva, who is Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam. Well, it means fragrant as well as Pushtivardhanam. That means nourisher of life or nourisher of all living, you know. So this is the nature of the Shiva. But so, but what we are asking uh, Bhagwan is Urvarukam Urvarukam eva bandhana. See, like some people say it is cucumber, some people say it is like maybe watermelon or something, how it just drops on its own. Once it is ripe, it just drops. It is not, it is a painless journey. So when you are going through life and beyond, so let my journey be painless, that it should be like a urvarak, when how it falls from its vein, how it is when it is ripe, it just on its own it drops off. There's no so same way all my bandhanan means from my bondages. Let me be free from all my bondages. Um, just like that. So it's a prayer to Shiva to say that Mrityor Mukshiye Mamrita, that Amritam, that is your own nature, that let my uh, or you can say liberate me from this the the bandhan of life and death. So so it is a, I'm giving you a very high level, but you understand, right? The gist of it. So it's a prayer to Shivji to say, okay, please liberate me from this, and it should be painless liberation. It should not be like that. All my attachments, let my attachment become uh, loosened, so that it automatically drops. In the initial invocation, Om Sahana Bhavatu, that's the Sahanao Bhunaktu. In that, we talked about Sat in that. That Sat has three meanings, you know. One was let me go back to my notes so that I don't tell you anything. Um, it was Visharana, Gati, and Avasadhana. Visharana means the destruction of my ignorance. That is one meaning of Sat Dhatu. The other is Gati. That means I should reach there in my that goal. And the third one was avasadhanam, which means loosening of my attachments. That means let my attachments on its own drop away. So I shouldn't be able to, I don't have to, I don't feel the pain of that detachment. So bandhanat. Mm. Anyways, does it make sense or did I confuse you guys? Make sense? Okay. All right.
Rajiv ji, I have another simple question.
Mm.
Since Nachiketa was sent to Yamraj by his father,
Mm.
my naive understanding would be that the way you go to Yamaraj is by death, right?
Hmm.
So then in this story, Nachiketa is said to be conversing with Yamraj.
Hmm.
And Yamraj is, I think, a Devta, na? I think, I don't know what class of being he is, but
Yeah.
so, so then in what way is it that,
It
I
says
guess,
he entered the Yamaloka as fire enters. So basically, actually, Swami Chinmayananda wrote a little bit, one paragraph about it, that let's not waste time about how he got there, in what form he got there. Let's understand the story is a dialogue.
sure,
So
sure.
just
Yeah.
focus on that part alone, that he, it may be in his subtle form, that he entered the death and he was waiting for death. Maybe he was in coma or something and he was having a dialogue. I don't know. I'm just, it doesn't say that here. It just says that he entered like fire,
No,
you
no,
know.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. It's a dialogue and we
It's a
don't need.
dialogue. So the focus is on dialogue, you know.
Okay. But Yamaraj, coming back to Sri Yamaraj,
Mm.
I mean, he's personified here as a Devta, but
Yeah.
do people worship Yamaraj as a deity?
I don't know. Maybe not. But, you know, he's, see, the इसके कई सारे मतलब है. You know, we have to understand that Yamaraj
बिल्कुल.
is also the keeper of the time. You know, काल का भी, he is the in charge of that too. So he is the one who is aware of everything. You know, death is a not a thing that happens end of your life. Death is happening continuously. Death is something that is, uh, you know, at a cellular level, death is happening. At a macrocosmic level, deaths are happening continuously. You know, stars are being created and dying, and, you know, so there is a constant uh, balance that is being maintained. And how things are managed in this chaos is the role of Yamaraj. So he is the most powerful person, powerful jiva who has taken up this role. So he has to understand what life is. To understand life, to understand death, you have to understand life first.
But he's also the keeper of karma, na? Like a
He is
account.
also the keeper of karma. He knows what karmas are. So Yamaraj is given a lot of importance, you know, in our text.
Right. So I was
Because
thinking about,
everybody fears that role, you know, of Yamaraj.
yeah. So I was thinking of this story in a slightly different way, how to
Mm.
apply it to my life, which is that as you become an adhyatmic student, and let's say you start understanding more and more subtle things,
Mhm.
which gives you a certain kind of knowledge, how things work.
Mhm.
And once we have the sukshma kind of knowledge, vigyan, like basically how interdependence works, everything was, with that knowledge, you can achieve many things in the world. Because an ordinary person knows whatever they know. But once you have a little bit of knowledge, I was wondering, it's like Sansar is always trying to make us these kinds of offers ki tum ye kar lo, tum wo kar lo, you'll really be happy, you know. Like if you know yoga, you can extend your life. If you know this, you can do that. It's like that invitation is always coming towards a person, even though they're going towards Adhyatma, but the pull is always there. Ki,
Mhm.
you know, from Sansar. I was thinking like that, just like Yamraj is explaining. Ki, why don't you have this? Why don't you have that? मतलब
Mhm.
he's talking about स्वर्ग की अप्सरा and all that, but संसार भी तो हमें invitation देता रहता है ना कि
Oh yeah,
प्रलोभन
the
प्रलोभन is the
invitation.
right word, you
All
know.
kind of pralovans are there. Yeah.
हाँ, मतलब from that point of view, my कीमत is very low. मैं तो थोड़ी छोटी छोटी चीजों से ही भटक जाता हूँ. ये तो स्वर्ग की बातें हो रही हैं यहाँ
I know.
पे.
So So that is the what they want to prove in this story, in this first Valli, is the fit student and the fit teacher. So
अधिकारी जो होगा
this
ना.
is the real adhikari, correct?
Hmm.
Rajiv ji, you mentioned sadhan chatushtaya. Is that
Mhm.
the same as sham, dam,
Yes,
uprati, titiksha?
that is uh, that is the six values, Shat Sampatti.
Shat Sampatti, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it starts with Vairagya, Vivek, Vairagya, Shat Sampatti, and Mumukshutvam. So they together becomes the qualifications for a fit student.
Hmm.
But
I
yeah,
think
you're right. Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Samadhan, and Shraddha. They're not in that same order, but that's what six qualifications are. Six values that we need to practice. Actually, if you ask somebody, Guru, what should I do? He says, you only work on these six values. Everything else will fall in place. If we just work on one of them, even, even Shama or Dama, Titiksha, whatever one we take over and say, okay, I'm going to practice that. That is all we can do. All other things are grace of God only. It'll come when we are ready.
so. Rajiv ji, I was going to bring that up. That's a very profound teaching you just mentioned. Ki of the six and the four, you can feel discouraged. Ki main kaise karunga ye? But
Mhm.
as you were saying, ki it is said that even you do one or
Yeah.
two, then
Yeah.
it makes everything else so much easier. Just like
Yeah.
the opposite way, if
All the
you
other will fall in place. Yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
actually, na, you remember you told the story about वो जो गया था prostitute के पास. There's a similar story, slightly different. This monk goes to again this prostitute's place, and वो भिक्षा मांगते हैं ना, whatever, like whatever. So she says कि मेरे पास वैसे तो she says कि why don't you spend a night with me, like, and he says how can I do that? I'm a monk and everything. I can't do that. She says okay, I have this whatever, like bakra or something. Why don't I sacrifice and make you a nice dinner? He says no, no, no. How can I, like, have you killed something for my benefit and all that? She says okay. All right. She says, I want to give you something, at least accept something from me. Okay, here is this wine, a little bit of wine. Please take it as a gift from me. And because I'm offering you this thing, you can't refuse it. तो वो उसमें संशय में पड़ जाता है. So, okay, fine. I'll just have a little bit of wine. So then he has a little bit of wine. He spends a night with her and then also has the bakra also. So
Yeah.
anyway, but there's always a gateway now from temptation. But
पाप का बाप कौन? Anyways, okay. So next 2 weeks I am out. So no class unless you guys want to do it something, as a group. But we'll meet after whatever, the first week of the second week so we will start the ninth chapter.
ईश्वर के नहीं होने से स्टूडेंट बहुत खुश होते हैं.
2 हफ्ते छुट्टी. Yeah.
but you're leaving us hanging regarding the Kathopnishad. Question तो
I
पूछ ली
know.
लेकिन आंसर भी तो चाहिए ना?
अभी आंसर आएंगे. We'll do the second only after uh, ninth chapter. All right.
Thank you, Rajiv ji,
Thank
Rupla
you,
ji. Enjoy
Ji.
your travels and
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
safe travels.
We-
Yes,
We'll see
thank
you
you.
when we get back. I'll put that message also in the group. Thank you.
And Rupla ji, if you want to teach us something, or Jatin ji or whoever, in these 2 weeks, I would be very delighted to have a special session.
So I'm traveling with him.
Okay.
And second thing, Jatin and Varun, I don't know, I can't promise, but I will certainly ask. they have their own very busy schedules to keep. So because this class requires some time to prepare and all that. But I'll certainly ask.
That'll be great. Yeah. Well, safe travels. Enjoy your trip.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Rajiv ji.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Yeah.
Um,